Welcome to Beyond the Plot, the podcast where we deep dive into the stories behind the storytellers. Today, we're joined by the brilliant and endlessly relatable Kathleen Whyman, award-nominated author, magazine columnist, and creator of sharp, funny, heartfelt fiction that readers can't get enough of. Known for her warm wit and wonderfully human characters, Kathleen has built a loyal following through novels like Wife Support System and Second Wife Syndrome, along with her popular, humorous writing in national magazines. In this episode, Kathleen takes us behind the scenes of her writing life, how she finds inspiration, and what fuels her creativity. Her journey is honest, encouraging, and full of the kind of wisdom every writer and creative needs to hear. So settle in. This is Beyond the Plot podcast with Kathleen Whyman. You're in for a real treat. Thanks, everyone. Hi, Kathleen. How are you?
Hi, I'm very well. Thank you. How are you?
I am very well, very well. So thank you so much for joining. I know we've taken a little bit of time to get here, but I'm very, very excited and glad that you could to join the podcast today. So I really do appreciate
Thank
it.
you for inviting me. It's lovely to chat to you. And I really
I
like your
know.
background. I'm in a rented office. This isn't like an art installation or anything behind me. Yours looks much nicer.
Well, we had this room converted. It used to be one big room. And I was like, I need an office. So we converted it. And then for ages, I had nothing. It was like a dumping ground in here. And so I was like, it looks really bare. And then when I set up this podcast, I was like, I have to have something on the walls. And I had so many books that I was like, okay, well, I'll just put all my books up there. And I've got some like in other rooms as well. But yeah. And otherwise, it's just a magnolia wall, which is a bit, bland for an office.
What I've got, apart from the dormitory phone.
Yes, the phone. So do you want to just share a little bit about yourself? And then we'll kind of go back in time and see where your writing journey began.
Right. So yes, so I'm Kathleen Whyman. I write humorous women's fiction, and basically my aim is to write for all the multitasking, mentally overloaded women out there who are struggling to juggle families, careers, relationships, looking after everyone else, put themselves on the subs bench while they do that, and then suddenly realizing that they don't have it all, they do it all. I'm not quite sure how that happened. So my books are so they can relate to them, realize that there are other people out there struggling. It's not all Insta friendly, and you can really empathize. And so all the issues that women have to deal with are wrapped up in humor to make it hopefully lighthearted rather than depressing.
Yes, yeah. The comedy, and probably so many of us can relate to those issues, right? Because like you said, juggling, and women, any men that are listening to this, women, I don't know, we just do it, don't we, without questioning, and then our life is a juggle every day.
And we turn around and think, how did this happen? Why am I the one doing all the school admin? And
No, I know. I always say it to my partner, I'm like, he can just go to work and then he comes back, and I'm like, I've done like 50,000 other things that you have to think about that's related to school, or you're thinking about what you're going to cook for dinner, then you've got to go and do the food shopping, and I'm like, and I should ask him to do more. He always says that to me, but sometimes I'll just do it myself. It's fine.
Yeah, they're like invisible jobs, aren't they? That don't really get appreciated. And yes, we do.
Yeah, it's very
Get
true.
on with it.
So yeah. So tell me a little bit about when your writing career started, because I did read your bio and said that it started very young, and
There's a career as such, but I certainly, I always loved writing. I can remember making little books when I was really young, and like sewing them together, like writing them about my dolls, sewing them up together, and then when I was in primary school, I wrote a book called The Ghost of Cripple Creek. So I've changed genre a little bit. And it had illustrations and everything. It was 2 exercise books, and I sellotape them together, and I sent it to a publisher. I must have gone to the library to get the details, because of course I didn't have any Google or anything then. And they wrote back and said that unfortunately it wasn't quite up to standard, strangely, as I was 10, but that they really enjoyed it and to keep up the writing. But they didn't send the book back because, of course, I wouldn't have known to send a stamped addressed envelope. And I thought that was really mean. They probably just put it in the bin of my hard work. So I loved doing that. And then through my teens, I was always starting stories but getting distracted, or writing
Mm.
funny poems with my friends. And so it's just always been in me. I've just always loved
Yeah.
writing.
Yeah.
Um, and then I did end I had various jobs, but I ended up becoming a journalist, and so I
Yeah.
was lucky enough to be writing as my day job, but it was for a trade magazine in the leisure industry. So really lots of interesting things, but it wasn't
Mhm.
fulfilling that creative, being able to tell my own story. I
Yeah.
wanted
Yeah.
to, wanted to. And in the end, my daughter, I think she was about 7 or something, said to me, "Stop talking about writing a book and just write one." And I was like, "Oh, that's the
Mm.
point, actually."
Yeah.
So that's what happened. But like, wouldn't it took years because I had young
Yeah.
children and was working part time. But yes, that's how it all started.
And then when you wrote your first manuscript and thought, okay, did you have in your mind that I'm going to go and send this off to a publisher or an agent? Kind of what did that look like for you?
Yes, I did. Well, actually, having said that, before that, I did write one. It started when I was pregnant. I wasn't going out much because it wasn't as much fun. So I started writing one then, and I that took me a couple of years. I was writing like, during my maternity leave and when the girls were napping and everything. And when I got to the end of that book, I did send it out to some agents, and the feedback was that they liked my style of writing, but the story wasn't
Mhm.
strong enough. And I've since looked at it and thought, oh my goodness, I really can see what they're saying. But it proved to me how much I loved writing and that I could finish a book.
Yeah.
So I had that confidence to do that. And so when I then, on my daughter's advice, started writing properly, yes, it was with the intention of trying to get it published.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and it did take me years to write. So my first book, this is Wife Support System. It's about three
Yeah.
mums. In fact, it's completely inspired by me being with my friends, us struggling to do everything, and our husbands are working long hours and not around much. And yet, when we were together for play dates, we would
Mhm.
just all pitch in, and life was so much smoother. And I said, "Oh, we've got this the wrong way round. Instead of living with the husbands and seeing each other now and again, we should live together and see our husbands now and again."
Yeah.
But it wasn't brave enough to do that, or it wasn't feasible in real life. But that was what inspired this story.
Yeah.
And so yes, I wrote that, and it did take years. And
Yeah.
initially it was way too long. I had to cut it and just redo. But then I sent it out to loads of agents, and I got really positive feedback, but it was too long. It really needed cutting,
Yeah.
um, and it just wasn't the right time. Actually, it was all domestic noir at the time. Girl on the Train.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I've forgotten the name. You know, there were all that kind of books at the time. So
Yeah.
I was thinking, oh, so it wasn't that there was anything wrong with the book, it just wasn't the right time. But I kept persevering. Basically, I just would not give up. And in the end, I contacted a publisher direct. In fact, I bumped into her at an event
Okay. Yeah.
in the toilets of all
Yeah.
glamorous destinations. Got chatting, and she said, "Oh yeah, I'll have a look." And this was Keshni Naidu from Hera Books,
Yeah.
and she liked it and said, "Yeah, I'd love to publish it."
Amazing.
So that took 7 years from starting to get.
Yeah.
Maybe it was 7 years before it got published, basically,
Yeah.
when I started it. Yeah,
See, if you hadn't gone to that event and
I
seen her in the
know.
toilets,
Yeah,
you got to take the
but
opportunities.
go to all events you can and go to the toilet regularly. That's my advice.
Yeah.
Talk to whoever's next to you at the sink. But I admired her dress. That's how it all started.
Ah, see, yeah,
Yeah.
compliments and then,
Yeah.
yeah, going for the kill. Right here, I
Yeah.
want to talk to you about my manuscript.
Didn't know she was a publisher at the time. That was just very lucky.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, brilliant. So from that moment then, what's it kind of looked like for you? So you instantly you sent it off to her, they said they were going to publish it. Did they just give you a one book deal? Or did they offer you two? Like, I'm just interested to kind of
Yeah.
hear your journey from there.
So I'd actually started writing another book while it was out in submission, because it was
Mhm.
out in submission for so long. And this book was eventually, when it's published, was called Has Anyone Seen My Husband? And this was about being a second wife. and I'd
Yes.
pitched that
I've read
to
this.
Simon and Schuster
Yeah.
um, Open Day. They do that once a
Mhm.
year, I think, and they liked it. And I'd only written the first 3 chapters, and they said, "I'll send it to us when it's finished." So I told Keshni at Hera this because they wanted to offer me a 2-book deal, and I said, "Well, I kind of
Yeah.
feel like I need to honour that." And she said, "Completely understand. We'll do your 1-book deal." So that's what happened. And then when I also entered the first 3 chapters into the Comedy Women in Print Prize.
Mhm.
And so actually I'd done that before I met Keshni at Hera. So at this point, in this was in the unpublished category. So I
Yeah.
was able to do that. And then I ended up being longlisted for Comedy Women in Print. So by this time I met Keshni and I had to go back to them and say, "Oh, I am going to be published." And they said it's fine. So this is really long-winded and drawn out. But basically, Hera published the first book.
Yeah.
Then the second book got shortlisted, ended up being shortlisted for Comedy Women in Print. And that got me the attention of an agent,
Yeah.
Emily Glenister at DHH.
Mhm.
She's brilliant. All the women I've been dealing with have been absolutely amazing. And she said, "Right, let's pitch this book out to all the publishers." And everyone said they liked it. This was including Simon Schuster, but
Yeah.
it needed work. And because everyone in the industry is so busy, and this is just after lockdown as well, and they had so much to
Yeah.
catch up on, they didn't have the time to work with me on it. So Emily said, "Right, write another book, and
Mhm.
this, and then we'll pitch that one and get you a 2-book deal. And then this, Has Anyone Seen My Husband, can be the follow up." So
Yeah.
luckily I had an idea because otherwise I'd have been like, "What, another one?" So I wrote the other one, which was "Would You Ask My Husband That?" which is all about role reversal. He loses his job, she gets promoted. And so all of a sudden he's a stay-at-home dad and she's the high-flying
Yeah.
career woman. The Has Anyone Seen My Husband was about being a second wife and dealing with blended families and everything.
Yes.
So hopefully they're all like relatable subjects.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yeah.
yes. So she was able to get me. So she did sell that one to Embla, which is the digital imprint of Bonnier, and was able to say, and actually Kathleen's got a completely finished second book here, which, I think is music to publishers' ears. And
Yeah.
it did need the work, but that because they were invested in me then, they did give me the advice. And so um, I've got to get books that haven't got husband or wife in the title because it's getting really confusing. But Ask My Husband, that came out in 23, and then Has Anyone Seen My Husband the following summer, 24. And I'm
Yeah.
currently
Amazing.
working on my next book for them. So and then they offer me another 2-book deal. So
Wow.
next book come
Awesome.
out in March next year. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't have
Do you
Tom.
feel do you feel like there's a bit more pressure now that like you've got a publisher, obviously you've got an agent, now you've got a publisher, you've got these book deals. Do you feel that there's a bit more pressure and you're time bound a little bit more to kind of you've got to get these like done?
Yes. And so the publishers, so I'm just doing the edits at the moment for
Yeah.
this book, and they're already saying, "Right, when can you get us the one after that?" And I'm like, "Oh."
Gosh.
But I mean, some authors are so prolific and write
Yeah.
2, even 3 or 4 a year, but I'm not
Yeah.
able to do I'm not able to do that. I take a
No,
lot
'cause
longer.
well, it's got do you like when you sit down to write your books then, how do you set yourself kind of those goals? Do you base it on like, okay, I'm going to give myself like X amount of words a day? Or do you think, okay, by the end of the week, I need to have this amount? How do you kind of navigate that?
That is what I should do. Is what I do think. I write. See, I'm really guilty of regarding writing as my treat, and I'll do that when I've done all the
Okay.
other jobs. And the
Yeah.
other jobs just never all get done, do they? There's always
No.
more to do, and so I can
Yeah.
get to the end of the day and think, "Oh, I've written a thing," and then it'll get creep closer and closer to deadline, and I get in a mad panic, and I stop doing everything, all my exercise, leaving the house, and just
Yeah.
work constantly into the night and end up like a little husk at the end of it. Think, "Oh, thank God I've done that." And that is so unhealthy. If I just manage my time better,
Do you do that every time as well?
pretty much, yeah. And I never learn. I never learn. I always think, "Oh, yeah, it'll be fine. Got loads of time." Then "Oh my god."
Yeah.
So, yes, what I should do is, 'cause I'm lucky enough um, to be able to use this office that my friend, rents. I use it a couple of days a week when she's not here,
Yeah.
and I do try actually really hard to make sure they're my writing days and I don't get distracted with
Yeah.
anything else. So at least I'm got the momentum going. And once I really
Yeah.
get into the book actually, and
Yeah.
it's like it's fresh in my mind. Actually, that is the good thing about writing in those concentrated periods of time. It's so fresh in my mind,
Yeah.
don't have to recap, and it's
That's
all,
good.
yeah, like it's almost like it's playing out in front of me like a TV program or something, and my
Yeah.
fingers are chasing to catch it up while I watch it all happening. So that is the benefit, but the needing to lie in a darkened room for about months afterwards
Yeah.
and having scurvy for not having
Oh, yeah, not going outside. It's really bad when you don't leave the house. Like, I did that yesterday because I work from home as well. I didn't leave my house all day, and by the end of the day, I was like, "God, I haven't left my I haven't, like,
I know.
had, like, fresh air today." Like, I've just been in my house. It's could
Yeah.
get quite depressing after a while,
No, I
but,
would recommend
um
it. This
no, no.
do as I say, not as I do.
Yes, yeah. So do you give yourself a break in between the books then? Or does it naturally happen? Or do you set yourself like, okay, I'm now going to take like 2 months where I just have a break and reset and go and do something that I want to do, whether that's a holiday or whatever. Do you do that?
I do have a break from writing, but I'm still doing writing related things. I guess because 'cause
Okay.
you're self-employed really, aren't you, when you're an
Yes.
author? And so need to do all the promotion. That takes a lot of time. And I do a lot of author interviews, either
Yeah.
I'm associated with these author events and they're posted on
Mhm.
YouTube.
Yeah.
And I do them at local bookshops or at events, or I host panels. And so I'm
Amazing.
preparing for those or doing those or putting myself forward for them,
Yeah.
um, and trying to increase momentum or make people aware that the books exist, because
Yeah.
unless you're an established author or a celebrity name, the publishers,
Mm.
it's not their fault. They just don't have the budgets
Yeah.
to promote every author. So that is pretty much down to us to do.
Yeah.
And it's how to do that really. I follow this. I'm a subscriber actually. I'm in a membership of Too Much Social, which
Mhm.
is this woman Nicola Washington is absolutely amazing, and she's it's purely for authors and about how to really work out who your audience, your readership is, and how to make sure that everything you're doing is of interest to them, not just sell, 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 but things that they
Yeah.
will want to be interested in you for,
Yeah.
relatable content.
Oh, that's
So
good.
yeah, she's amazing. So I really try
Yeah.
and do that, and it just all takes time. And then of course there is also the children, family, life
Yes.
admin,
Yeah.
and all the things that I ignored for a month, like cleaning the oven or or just cleaning actually.
Yeah. You just come out, your house is like chaos, and you're like,
Yeah,
"Sorry, I'm here now."
I know.
Um, yeah, I can imagine it must be tough because I've spoken to a few authors now, and some that are indie published, some that are really well known as well, traditionally, and they've said the same thing, is that, you still have to market yourself
Mm,
and try and sell your own books. It's just not what it used to be like. It's like now yeah, when you're self-employed, you've kind of got to be everything, right? And
yes.
navigate everything. And I think it's good we've got social media, but I mean, how do you navigate that? Do you find it quite easy to use?
No, I'm awful. I'm so technically inept. It takes me ages. A post that should take, I don't know, 5, 10 minutes, quite can take me an hour. But then this is, when I get into it more and becomes more, oh, like with anything, like when you're learning to drive, the more you do it, the more
Yeah. Yes.
easier it comes, and I won't have to be looking up, how do I get that caption to come up?
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
now it's over my face, and yeah, so it's just going to be habit. And there is the argument, I guess, that does it really make any difference or not? But I think, well, I
Yeah.
feel like I should try.
Yeah.
Um, and it is a big part of people's lives now. And
Hmm.
when I find an author that I like, I will follow them, and I'm interested in
Yes.
seeing what
Yeah.
they're doing, what their process is, or just their funny, their content.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess I have to hope that people will do the same, or will come across it and think, "Oh, I like what she's saying. I'll
Yeah.
read her books."
Yeah. And I think that's true. Like, I think the authors that I follow on, like something like Instagram, they share a bit about themselves as well. So they
Yeah.
share their lives and their everyday, and like it's not all glam, and I
No.
still have to do the everyday housework, and
Mm.
yeah, it's just relatable because yeah, I think that's what people want to see sometimes, don't they? It's just,
Mm.
oh, what's that person doing today? And just have
Yeah.
a snippet of their day and what they're up to.
Yes. No, it is good. It makes us feel more connected to
Yeah,
them.
it does.
Yeah, and I love when I get comments on Instagram. It's really nice to be
Yeah.
able to then have little chats and
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to like, I always think I'm like you, like the algorithm and also is it actually doing something? But I think, well, it, you don't know unless you do it. So like if at
yes,
least you're doing it, you might just hit one person who then might say something to someone else and then it might just
exactly.
spread that way. So I think
Yeah.
you got to be in it to win it, don't you? And
Yes. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
definitely.
Maybe you just post now and again, but yeah, I think a lot of the content is
Mm.
relatable, so that's good.
Yeah.
You just mentioned a minute ago about and I have watched two of the podcasts actually that you were doing on YouTube, the author events, and I
Yes.
think I watched the Millie Johnson one and the
Mm.
Page Two one as well, which I thought were very good. And it was really nice to kind of hear from them as well. So how did you get into that?
So Author Events is affiliated with Romance Writing Festival and
Yeah.
Bournemouth Writing Festival. And I spoke at Bournemouth Writing Festival last year, and I'm going to host some panels there next year.
Mhm.
So I had that connection with the author Alex Stone, who set up Author Events,
Mhm.
and we just chat now and again, just say hi, how are you? And she said she wanted to do these podcast interviews, and would I be interested in it? And I just love talking to people.
Yeah.
And so I said, yes, definitely. I mean, because I was a journalist as well, I guess I
Yeah.
naturally nosy, maybe. No, I'm having conversations and
Yes.
get more. And of course, because it's an industry that I'm passionate about,
Yeah.
they're really good fun to do. And yes, so I was really fortunate to talk to Millie and Paige, and yeah, lots of other authors. There's
Yeah.
more coming up, and also Simon and Schuster publishing powerhouse Sarah Jade Virtue. She was
Yeah.
brilliant, saying me all about the
Yeah.
industry, and so yeah,
Yeah.
I'm lucky to do them because they are really
Yeah.
good fun. Yeah, and hopefully everyone watching them gets a lot out of them as well.
Yeah, I think they're really I just I was listening to when I was cleaning the house, like I listened to Millie's one, and they're quite nice actually because they're not too long and you can just listen to it while you do something else.
Yeah,
So
I think
it's
they're about aim to be about 20 minutes to
yeah,
an hour. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, they're good. And I suppose that diversifies what you do as well, right? So it's not just the writing element. You get to, yeah, talk to other authors and people in the
Yes.
industry and yeah, probably keeps it quite interesting and
Yeah, that's right. It does. Yeah, and like when I do live events as well, that's always really nice.
yeah.
See people
Yeah.
in the flesh.
I know, because they were saying, like, it's quite solitary, right? That when you are writing,
Mm,
like you said, you're kind of like in the zone on your own, no one else around you for
yeah.
days. And then it's probably nice to have that where you actually are interacting with other humans
Yeah.
and
Right.
building
Yeah.
connections.
I mean, I do interact with my family when I'm in those rushes.
Yes.
I don't completely ignore them. But yes, it's not the same as putting a nice frock on, going out
Yeah.
into the world.
Yeah. So what or who inspires you? I know you kind of talked about you utilize things around you or like scenarios that you've been in or like other women would be in. Is there anything else that kind of inspires you to write these kind of books or anyone that kind of lifts you up and are your champions?
Yeah, I'm a huge like supporter of women,
Yeah.
and so I'm very inspired by women who not only are successful because of, well, they're successful because of their talent, their hard work, their determination, but also who really support other women as well, and
Yeah.
always want to help out, give something back. Got good values,
Mhm.
that you can really look up to, and who are good
Yeah.
role models for all women.
Yeah.
And I've got two girls, and for them as well. And um, so yeah, I was thinking about people. I mean, I love Dolly Parton so
Yeah.
much. The fact that she's got her imagination library, hasn't she, where she gives
Yeah.
away books to children. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, she didn't have to do that at all, but that's obviously something that was really important to her, and she wanted to help out and is able to.
Yeah.
In fact, she gave loads of money for the COVID vaccination research as well, didn't she? And it obviously
Yeah.
steps up and wants to help. Um,
Yeah.
Michelle Obama, I mean, she's just an incredible woman, isn't she?
Yes. Yeah.
I do think the late Queen Elizabeth II,
Yeah.
was an amazing woman. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever your thoughts are about the royal family, I don't think anyone could deny that she was an incredible person, really stood
Yeah.
with strong values and,
Yeah. I think
all
everyone
the right
felt a loss, didn't they, when
Mm,
she passed away? And you could tell that by the amount of people that were, that were lining up to pay
yeah,
their respects, say goodbye.
yeah. I mean, and women in general. I mean, we go through a lot, we do a lot, and uh, most, try to be there for everyone. And yeah, so that's they're always everyone's inspiring, really, aren't they? In their own
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And champion each other.
yeah,
So are you part of, like, any associations, or how do you meet your kind of, your group, your people that you kind of go to?
So I was shortlisted when I said about my book being shortlisted for Comedy Women
Yeah.
in Print Prize. So I was really fortunate to get to know all the other authors that were in my year. And Helen Lederer runs Comedy Women in Print. She set it up
Mhm.
to champion, support, celebrate witty women writers. And because there wasn't anything else out there for women who write this, it wasn't acknowledged or appreciated. And she wanted to change that. And so I
Mm.
am a bit involved now
Okay.
with that. And it's just such a brilliant thing to do, to really support and help, like I said, champion and celebrate women. And so I've met lots
Yeah.
of authors through that, and we have events now. Um,
Mhm.
so yes, in fact, if anyone watching, wanted to get involved or come to anything, if they sign up to the newsletter, Comedy Women in Print .co.uk, then yeah, it's a really lovely community to be part of, and we really are there to offer support, advice. I also run a local writing group
Okay.
um, in my hometown, and that's really nice. So once a month we get together. We've got a room in a cafe, and we go
Yeah.
there. And in fact, we had one yesterday. And I must
Oh.
admit, we don't do that as much writing as we should. But that's because it's walking, and generally, and because it's nice to catch up, but also about writing and just offering
Yeah.
advice and giving ideas. Sometimes we do some brainstorming, and that's all women as well, actually. Not that I'm sexist or anything. It's just that's how it's turned out. And
Yeah.
yeah, so I just think it's really lovely to have people that you can talk openly with, like a safe space, no judgment. You're
Yeah.
just all there to help each other out. Uh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, and I like that when you said about just, like, even running ideas past them, right? Because
Mm,
they're writers themselves, so it's
yes,
nice just though they know what you're going through because 'cause they're going through the same.
exactly. Yeah. How about you? You involved?
Yeah, well, gosh, I haven't I wrote 2 books. I'm still working on my 3rd. It's been going for a while 'cause, I just trying to find the time
Yeah.
to finish it, and I've kind of, like, family and work, and now I'm doing the podcast, have kind of, like,
Mm,
trumped that at the moment, and I wanna actually doing talking to authors is just, yeah, like, the inspiration. I'm like, "Oh, you're inspiring me to keep writing," and, I will get back to it. I will get back to it, because I do love doing it. But, yeah, mine came from well, I lived in Australia for a number of years, so I was part of the, RWA over there, so I just built a network through them. I did some, like, writing courses as well, and then through Instagram, actually just meeting a lot of people, and
mm,
then that way, and then now I'm here, um, just been kind of connecting with people um, like virtually and things. Um, so yeah, I think the network is, and there's an RNA here. I'm not part of that, but I've heard a lot of people who are, and they said it's a really great um, kind of organization to be a part of and meet, you know, authors, and they
Yes.
become lifelong friends and stuff. So I
Yeah,
think, yeah, I think it's a really great. I think you can find, yeah, any inspiration and collaboration and people that uplift you
definitely.
when you don't even realize it's there. And I was saying to someone the other week actually that when I started this, I was looking like who I wanted to have on as guests, and it's always a bit daunting when you start reaching out to people because you don't know what response you're going to have. And I said I had like nothing but nice like comments and people replying saying yes, I'd love to, and
Mm.
it just made me realize again, and I already knew this deep down, but like how lovely like writers and authors are, like,
Yeah.
and everyone just wants everyone to do really well no matter what
I
aspect
know,
that's
it is
yeah.
lovely, and I don't think there is that competitiveness because people don't just buy one book, do they? They buy lots,
No,
and
no.
then when I see other authors doing well, I think, "F fantastic, I'm so happy for
Yes.
you," and also it's proof that it can happen, and
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I know. And I think sometimes, like, this is why I want to share people's stories, because you never actually know the journey they've been through. Like, sometimes you just see that, oh, their book's been released. And then you think, oh, did they just get that overnight? But actually, it's taken them 10 years to get there. And they've, almost given up at moments, and they've had all these struggles, and yeah, even by like chatting to authors on this podcast, I've realized how many have had to jump through hoops to get to where they are now.
You're right, and every author as well, goes through imposter syndrome and has times
Yeah,
when they think, "Oh, can I write? Can I come up with another story?"
yeah,
Um, and so to know that really successful authors get that as well,
yeah,
um, is reassuring because I think, "Oh, this is just part of the process, it's normal. I don't need
yeah,
to worry, it'll pass, hopefully."
yeah, yeah. You've got to just believe in yourself. That's what I keep hearing. Believe in yourself and be consistent. And
Yes, that's right, and if you've done it before, you can do it again.
yeah,
And,
yeah,
like, even on the days I don't feel like writing, I'm forced myself to because
yeah,
I think even if a load of rubbish comes out, I can edit that. I can't edit a blank page. And in fact, I think it was Benny or Bjorn from ABBA,
yeah,
I love, the songwriter said about how every day they would go to their hut. I don't know. It probably wasn't a hut, probably a luxurious recording studio,
yeah,
bottom of the garden, and work. And they said like 9 times out of 10 the song that they wrote was rubbish and would never be used, but
yeah,
1 in 10 would be good. And if they
yeah.
hadn't gone to the recording studio to work, they would have no songs. So
Yeah,
can't wait for
it's
inspiration to
true.
strike. I think you have to just get on with it.
Yeah, yeah, it's so true. And actually, I think in the process, you're making yourself better as well, right? Because
Yeah.
you're actually physically writing, and then yeah, you're kind of training your brain, you're training kind of, yeah, all those
Mhm.
like senses to actually put something down and keep your imagination going and
Yeah.
creativity flowing. So I think, yeah, it's a good way to train yourself to keep, yeah, to hopefully have something amazing at the end of it.
Yes, or that could be shaped into something amazing.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even if you just wrote, I don't know, what happened to you that night, I mean, the day before or something like that, or a dream you had that night. I don't know, just something to get you writing and then
Yeah.
go from there. I do find actually, I try not to spend too much time going back and correcting what I've already written, because chances are it's
Yeah.
cut when I get to the end anyway, so it'll
Yeah.
be waste of time. But just rereading like the last chapter I'd written or something to refresh my mind,
Yes.
and then just, oh yeah, that's where I was, and go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. So, what kind of obstacles have you faced or challenges have you faced kind of throughout your career?
Yeah. I write too much.
Okay.
So when I write, I just think I'm not going to worry about editing anything. I'm just going to go la 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 la, let it all come out, and then I'll shape it, and then I'll get to the end. So my first book, Wife Support System, I got to
Yeah.
the end, and it was 180,000 words. Well, a book should be between like I don't know 90 and 100. So I was
Yeah.
like, and it had four characters initially. Now it's
Okay.
been living together, but initially it was
Yeah.
four. So it's almost like I was writing four books in a way because they all had their
Yeah.
stories that then interwove. And I kept going over and over again, and like because I was sending it out to agents, and they were like, "There's no way I can read that." So I actually did invest. I think it was Cornerstone's editing agency. I couldn't afford to get the whole manuscript edited,
Yeah.
but I think I sent them the first four chapters, one from each perspective and synopsis.
Yeah.
And I met up with the editor. She was lovely, Nicola Doherty, and she said, "The only way you can cut this is to cut one of the characters out." And I was,
Yeah.
oh my god, how am I going to do that? It's like being told you got to get rid of one of the members of your family or something.
Yeah.
I get so attached to them all. So I read through and think, right, which character was bringing the least to this? And
Yeah.
and the things that she does that need to happen throughout the book that I could give to someone else. So I identified the character and cut her out, and she was the one that I'm most like. So it's like I'm too boring to be a character even in my own book. And then yes, I got it down to 120,000. So still too
Okay.
long, but not quite as scary long. And then
Yeah.
Keshni from Hera, that's the book she took me on, and then of course worked with me and gave me advice to
Yeah.
edit it down to 100.
Yeah. Gosh. You must have had so much to say to write 180,000 words.
I know, and most of it was probably rubbish. Needs to be cut. Um, but yeah, then Would Anyone See My Husband? That was 102,000, and then
Yeah.
um, Would You Ask My Husband? That was about the same, and then the one I'm editing at the moment, when I finished
Yeah.
that, that was 120,000 words. So again,
Yeah.
I just
Gosh.
got way over and had to cut right back.
Yeah.
And I'm creating more work for myself by doing
You
this.
are.
But at the same time, I feel like that's just the way I work. I just have to let everything come out
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
work out what I need and shape it back. But I wish I wasn't like that. I wish I could think, okay, right, I'm at 60,000 word mark. Let's start winding it down.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, oh
How long does it take you to write the book? Like,
okay, so the shortest, the one that took me the least time was Has Anyone Seen My Husband? Because I entered it into the Comedy Women in Print Prize when I
mhm.
was about two-thirds of the way through, and then realised, and then I got longlisted, and they said, right, we need the full manuscript in 10 days. And so I had to finish that last third in 10 days, and I just wrote
Wow.
non-stop. And I finished it at 4:10 a.m. on the day it was due in at midday. I couldn't even barely remember what I'd written, and I
Oh,
just had to send it off without even looking through it. So, but again, I wouldn't recommend that way of work. I mean, on average, it takes me about a year to write a book.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and then with all the edits and everything else as well, a year to 18 months, really.
No. Yeah.
Like I said, I'm quite slow. Other people could do it a lot quicker if they didn't overwrite.
Yeah.
Sensible people do it quickly.
But you have your way of doing it, and it works, right, for you. I think otherwise if you try
Eventually.
and change it, maybe it wouldn't flow as well, or maybe you wouldn't get the words that you needed to say.
Well, I think if I kept trying to hold myself back, yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think it would be. Whereas I'd write in quite a chatty, conversational way.
Yeah.
Um, yes, and there is
Got a
some
nice flow to it.
repetition. Thank you. Hopefully.
Yeah. So what piece of advice would you give to, let's say, those aspiring authors out there that maybe were where you were, X amount of years ago, trying to get their manuscript published? Maybe they've written something, maybe they haven't. What would kind of advice would you give them?
Couple of things I've already touched on, which is don't view it. Give yourself permission to write. Don't
Yeah.
treat it as a or see it as a treat. Put that first maybe before you do everything else, even if it's just an hour or something. Don't feel like you shouldn't be allowed to write. Just go
Hmm.
for it. Also, don't worry about editing what you've done because chances are you rewrite it. Just keep going. Get the
Yeah.
story down and then go
Yeah.
and shape it all and perfect it. The important bit is to get the story down first.
Yeah.
And also write what you really want to write and don't worry about what other people will think when they're reading it.
Mm.
Um, like, don't worry about what your grandma might say if you put a swear or something a bit saucy. Yeah, write the story you want to write. Don't worry about following a trend or anything either. Just write the story that is in you and
Yeah.
that you're enjoying writing because that will show in your writing.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah. And surrounding yourself, if you can, as we said, by
Yeah.
minded people who can encourage and support you.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. Yeah. I think you always need to have those your supporters in your corner, right?
right.
To
Yeah.
keep you going.
Yeah. Definitely.
So what's next for you then? So you're working on another book. You're doing these author event, but you're doing a lot. Anything else that's gonna come onto your plate, or are you quite content with where you're at right now?
I'm hosting panels at a couple of festivals next year,
Yeah.
the Bournemouth Writing Festival again, and then a it's organised by the Authors Lounge. It's a charity fundraiser for the 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 Brain Hemorrhage Foundation. I'm not sure that's the
Mhm.
correct
Yeah.
word, but a brain tumor. Sorry. Yeah, that's terrible. I should know the name of the exact charity. But anyway, that's going to be really good fun. Loads of authors together talking about their favourite books and reading extracts from them. And so I will be. So if anyone wants to follow me on Instagram, actually,
Yeah.
Kathleen Whyman author, I will be posting about that. Um, and yes, working on book 5, once I finish
Wow.
editing book 4. Um,
Yeah.
yes, and trying to pay my family some attention.
Yeah. Do they read your books? Do your daughters read your books?
No, they're not old
Oh,
yet.
okay, okay.
Um, yeah, hopefully they will when they're older, but I mean, my books aren't spicy by any means, but there are a couple of scenes that basically do involve sex. Like I said, it's not it's really
Yes.
not
Yeah.
graphic, but they would be like, "Ooh." So, yes.
Mum, really like that.
Throw it across the room in disgust. But yeah,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
too young at the
Oh,
moment, but hopefully one day. Mm.
yeah, okay. So on that note then, if you could choose any of your books that you've written so far to be adapted into a movie or a TV show, is there one that you would choose? And then if so, do you know who you would cast as the leads?
Well, my most recent book, Has Anyone Seen My Husband? There's a character in it who looks just like Idris Elba, so I would
Gosh,
definitely
yeah.
want to see him on the screen.
Yes.
And obviously, I'd have to interview him to see if he's
Yeah.
suitable. I'd go on set every day. So that'd be brilliant. I think the first on wife support system about the three mums moving in together to help each other out. But of course, there's a lot more going out on. One
Mm,
gets her head turned by a handsome colleague, and of course, she's not living with a husband at the time.
yeah.
Another one actually ends up kind of stalking her husband a bit to see what he's up
Oh,
to. And then
yeah.
another one's hiding a dark secret that she's petrified the other women will find out. So there's quite a lot going on.
Mm.
I can see it as a kind of cross between Mistresses and Motherland.
Ah, yes, I
Yeah.
love those. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so I think that would be a good TV series. And when I was
Yeah.
writing it, I actually had a little pinboard with the actors who I thought. So um, Erica would be played by, oh, it's terrible, I've forgotten her name now. She was in Mistresses and she was also, did you see Bridgerton? You watched
Yes.
Bridgerton? The second series, so when Anthony gets married,
Yes.
the two women the sisters, it's their mum, the actress.
Oh, her. Yes. I know
Yes.
who you mean. I can't
Yeah.
think of her name.
No, she was in Mistress as well.
Mean.
She would be Erica. Her husband played by Mark Bonnier,
Yeah.
who's currently doing, if you watch Celebrity Traitors, he's currently in that. But he was at the time he was in Line of Duty.
Oh, yes.
He's not the nicest person, so the Line of Duty character is perfect. But now I've seen how nice Mark Bonnier is, so was too nice for that. And also Joanna Scanlon was one of the character actresses I thought would be good, and
Yeah.
David Oyelowo.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. So I think because this was quite a while ago when I was
Yeah.
writing it, they've all got not only a little bit older, but also much more successful. So I couldn't afford.
Yes, they have. You've skyrocketed in a bit.
Yeah. Anyway, yes. So that was the cast that I had in mind while I was writing. Yes.
Wow. Put
Mm.
it out into the universe. It could,
Yes. Let's
get that
manifest
phone
this.
call. Yeah, manifest. You could get that phone call or someone email you.
Like Mark might or David might be watching. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get in touch.
Oh, yeah, it's so true. Well, I'll be looking out for that. You might say in like imagine in 5 years' time, you've got, one of your books being adapted
Mm.
into a TV series.
That would be a dream, an absolute dream. It really would.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It would be amazing.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that people can find you on Instagram. Where else can they find you? Where else could they get your books from?
Right. So yes, my books are all available on Amazon, of course,
Mhm.
and you can order them through bookshops. Unfortunately, not many bookshops stock them. They just don't know they exist, which is something that's very frustrating.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Amazon, or go into your bookshop and say, please, could I buy a book by Kathleen Whyman? And
Yeah.
tell you what, why don't you order one in to have on your shelves? That would be much
Yes.
appreciated. Yes. And then I've got a website, kathleenwyman.com. But yes, Insta at
Yeah.
Kathleen Wyman author. And there's a link in my bio, so I'll
Yeah.
say, to like my Amazon page and everything like that.
Brilliant.
But and yes,
That's good.
Christmas
We all
is
want it
too far
together so you can,
away.
yeah, one resource.
That's right. Yes. So if you're wondering what to get everyone you know for Christmas,
Yes. Yeah.
please,
Buy them, book.
please
I keep saying that. I
consider
said I
them.
think all my family are gonna get books this year. I think we
It's
all
a
need to
great
read a little bit
present.
more.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. I love getting books.
Yeah, yeah, me
Mm.
too. Yeah, I do, and I just go on a bit of a spiral of I love to read, and sometimes I can get quite addicted to reading, and I have to give myself a break at times because yeah,
There are far
my
worse
partner's
addictions, though.
well, I know, but then, like, if I choose to go to bed and read a book rather than sit down and talk to my partner, he sometimes gets a bit like,
Yeah.
"Oh, is that book better than I am?"
You don't like to say, "Oh, yeah, actually."
Yeah, yeah.
Got to a
Just really
really good
engrossed in
bit.
characters, yeah. Just imagining my life as theirs right now.
Yeah. I actually listen to a lot of books. In fact, my books are available on Audible as well.
Oh,
Um,
brilliant.
because although I like physically sitting and reading, with
Mhm.
so much going on, don't always have the time, but I can listen to them
Yes.
while I'm doing boring housework or walking
Yeah,
or, um,
it's very true.
yes. So yeah,
Oh,
that's a
brilliant.
handy way of getting through lots.
Yes, yeah, I do need to try that actually. Well, look, thank you so much for being a guest. I've absolutely loved chatting to you and
Oh,
hearing your
thank you for
story, and I
having
know
me.
that
Very nice to
everyone
talk to
will.
you.
Yeah, it's been great. And I wish you all the best. And I follow you on Instagram, so I'll be watching kind of your story evolve and
Oh, thank
keep progressing upwards
well,
and
I'll be watching
onwards.
yours as well and tuning into your other podcasts.
Yeah, I know. I've actually had some amazing guests, and I've got, yourself and yeah, I was quite astounded of like, yeah, the authors that we're gonna have on over the next few months as well. So it's really exciting.
Oh, it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love not only speaking to authors, but listening to other people speaking to authors as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, so I look forward to all of those. And thank you so much for
Oh,
inviting me. I really appreciate it. It's
oh,
been really nice to talk to
brilliant. Yeah, you too. Thanks so much, Kathleen.
you. Oh, thank you. Bye.
Bye.